Hi and welcome to this Markup RXP video where we will be covering the work in progress page on the new info tab, which is available in version 0.6 and onwards. So here we have our standard project. I've already done a few stitches. I've marked them up and we can see when they were marked up if we hop over to our info tab. And if we quickly look at the history, we can see that we've marked up some on the 4th, 5th, and 6th of January. But what I would like to do is I would like to have a way of tracking my work in progress as well. So this is where we have the new work in progress screen. This is currently in landscape mode and the screen will start off empty. On the left hand side, because we're in landscape mode, it just basically shows when the project was created. And when the markup was started. Now these dates are a little bit back to front because I've had to just tweak the data slightly um, just to show you how the information is displayed. But usually, obviously, the project created date would be before your markup started date. So here the instruction is telling us to click the plus button to add WIP records. So that's the plus button up here. So let's click the plus button. And this is taken to the add WIP screen. You have the option to close the add WIP screen here if you just wanted to quickly go back and not save any changes that you've made. But what you have is the ability to add a WIP image, and we've said that you can either take a photograph or you can select a picture. So for the purposes of this particular demonstration, what we'll do is we'll hop back over to the markup page, and I'm just going to take a screenshot like that. So that's taking a screenshot, which is saved to my photos. Then I'm going to go onto the info and I'm going to say select a picture. So this is the picture that I've selected here. So you can see that that image is now added. We get the option to set a work in progress date. So the date that I'm actually recording this video is on the 10th of January. And so that date is displayed in there. We'll talk about that a little bit more. And then in here, what we can do is we can write some information about our work in progress that we're interested in. So we might want to say something like, I don't know, just started, something along those lines. So that gives you, and if once that's there, you can click off the screen. So I'm just going to click in this area here, and that just removes the keyboard there. So that would be our standard text. Now what we can do is we can hit our save button. And you can see it tells us it's the 10th of January, it's got the picture, and we've just started. Now what we can do is if we click on this text again, it takes us back, and instead of adding the work in progress, we're now viewing or editing the details of our work in progress. So one of the other things that we have is this ability to add comments, and we've got this history button here. So if we are here on our comments and we hit the history button, I'm just going to come off that. As you hit the history button, it will insert your current stats for the work in progress. Now we've got the 10th of January selected here. So it picks the 10th of January date and it tells us that you've got 10 things marked up, you've got nothing parked, there's 54 minutes total time you've stitched for, and you've got 96 stitches still left to do. So you're 9.4% completed. And obviously then we can come back in and we can either we could cancel that change if we didn't want to keep it, or we can save that change. And you can see now that information gets displayed. So this is how you would build up your work in progress. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add another work in progress, and what I'm going to do is just select a different picture. I'll select this one here. So it's just selected a random picture off my feed there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the date to, let's change it to the 5th. I think the 5th was one of the days. So we're going to change that to the 5th here, done. And if we look back at our history, you can see, yes, at the 5th, we should have done 7 stitches overall for about 29 minutes. We shouldn't be including these last stitches here. So let's jump back onto our work in progress because we've chosen the 5th. And then if we hit the comments, you can see that it's picked up the 5th. So it's no longer the 10th. So it's looking at the date at which you selected. So if you miss a day and you want to go back and you want to update your stats, we've tried to make it so that you can select the date that you're interested in and it will tell you what you've included on that day. So it says at that day on the 5th, you'd marked up 7, you'd had taken a total of 29 minutes overall, you had 99 stitches still to do, and there was 6.6% completed. This is all calculated on the fly. So if I change that and let's put the 6th in. So I've just literally changed the date here. And then I'm going to hit the comment button again. And you can see on the 6th, it's telling us, oh, well, on that day, you'd marked up 10 and you'd spent 54 minutes and there was 96 still to do. So you can put additional data in, but it will take this date here. So if we keep that as the 6th and we hit the save button, here, you can see that additional information gets added to the list. So I'm just going to add one more in, and instead of being on the 5th, I'm going to set that to the 4th. Where are we? 4th there. We'll say done. And I'm just going to put that information in. I'm going to select another picture, just a different picture. I'll select that picture. So obviously you could take a photograph of your physical work in progress if you wanted to. And with that information, then we have our full list of work in progress that we'd like to check or like to view. And you can see that the latest posts come first. So you've got the 10th, the 6th, and then the 4th. Now, one of the things you might want to do is obviously this is just a very small image and you can click on this to view and go into the text of the work in progress. But you can also click on the image to get a bit of a bigger view of that image. But what we've also added in, if we close that down, is a carousel view. So this is the list view here. That's what we're currently in at the moment. And if we click on the carousel view, what that does is it will allow you to swipe through your work in progresses with just the image showing. You'll get a little bit of information at the bottom, maybe the first line or so. But that just keeps looping around so you can see through all your work in progresses. So if you were to keep a history, a visual history of your chart as it was progressing, that would allow you to see that. And what we've done as well is we've added just a little timer. So you can click that timer and every few seconds what will happen is the markup RXP will just start toggling through your work in progress so you don't have to keep swiping through to see the various images that you've selected. So if we stop that. So if we go back to the list and we decide actually on the 6th of January we no longer want that work in progress, we can hit the delete button and that will say, do you want to delete this work in progress? Yes. And that has now deleted it and that will take it out of the list altogether. Here, if we want to clear the comments down, you do have the option to hit the clear button here, and that will just clear the comments, and you can reinsert those comments or new text if you wanted to. If you would like to reset the date back to the current date, that's what this button here is for, and that will just set that back to the 10th maybe here, and then you can click on the comments, and you'll get the 10th that's put in. I'm just quickly checking through my list. There is a maximum length. So if we keep adding the comments in, you can see our maximum length. I think it's around about 200 to 300 characters that we allow. Obviously, this is just meant to be a very short description of what you're doing. It's not meant to be a comprehensive way to store your information. So we've talked about editing the work in progress, deleting the work in progress. We've talked about, and obviously here we've made a number of changes, but if we don't want to save those changes, we can cancel and it won't get saved. We've talked about the list of the work in progress. We've talked about the carousel view and how you can set that as a timer as well. So this is what we've added in for our work in progress. So I'm hoping that will allow you to track the important bits of your project as you're going through them and you can see them at a moment's glance. I hope that was helpful. Thanks very much for watching.